NCRP Productions presents Fantasy Flight's Star Wars RPG, Season 2, Episode 6.
Hello, and welcome to the table in a galaxy far, far away. I'll be your host tonight, DM David, and today we'll be playing Star Wars by Fantasy Flight Games in its 3 editions, Edge of Empire, Age of Rebellion, and Force and Destiny as one complete game. Let's meet our players starting from our left.
Hello everybody, this is Josh. I will be playing Locke, the Iridonian Zabrak, bounty hunter gadgeteer.
Hey, it's Barry. I am running, as always, Grist, the Shadow Sentinel Squib.
It's Ty. I'm playing Victus, the Twi'lek mystic Makashi Duelist.
This is Jessica. I will be playing Jimothy, the Jawa Demolitionist.
Alright guys, like we start every one of our sessions, can I please have you roll the white D12, the Force dice, and tell me what you got?
I want Jimothy to be a jury rigger.
Yeah,
Jimothy, the Jawa jury rigger.
I want to see how many subclasses we can get for you guys and make them alliteration.
Yeah.
It's so hard for me not to say Demolitionist.
You should change it to
That's
Demolitionist.
ultimately what he becomes.
Which is explosive removal of gems from
Gemstone.
deep mines.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
genius.
clever. That's clever.
So I have one.
I was
dark.
thinking of James.
I also have one dark, as usual these days.
one dark.
One dark. I also have one dark.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my god, guys!
And one of those two wrongs make a right. He's so dark. One goes light.
I guess one of those darks becomes darker?
Question mark?
Ever since we joined these guys, we rarely roll very many
Yeah,
light
guys.
sides. I think this is
real
a
good.
message.
So I got to switch the game
Black
to you
Sun
being
is-
real.
I think it's the Jawa's fault.
They've spoiled us.
So, the Force is definitely favoring the dark side today.
When's it not?
Which would make sense, because when we last left our crew, they were on their first mission with the Black Suns to go find a JL-12F, a high dangerous yield explosive. They were directed that there was a First Order base, or a remnant base, at the planet Vindaxa. The crew was able to land there, had a few difficulties, but ultimately were able to stealth into this communication garrison compound. One of our crew members, Locke, discovered his love for high, ordnance artilleries and decided to stay back while the other 3, Grist, Victus, and Jimothy, entered into the compound. As they began their search, Victus began to have flashbacks to his time before he made it to this generation, this 50 years of passage. Your crew was found. Grist was thought to have been a slave that escaped. This caused an alarm to be sounded off in the base. As your team descended lower, trying to find the generator, trying to find a way out, a deep sense of foreboding and the use of the Force allowed Grist to connect with those in the base and discovered that someone may be fleeing to the planet Ord-Vaxel. As the door opened up, the red emergency lights filled the room, the dark setting of this empty space leading to a hallway filled with 8 remnant stormtroopers holding civilians hostages in front of them. That is where we would start. So, Grist, Victus, Jimothy, you're looking out from your hexagonal elevator, looking forward. The doors have opened. The site is standing before you. Is there anything right now going through any of your thoughts or any actions you feel like you would immediately take?
How many people are there?
You can see easily 8 troopers. You can see that in front of each one is what looks like a citizen or some type of slave, because you see the manacled chains between their hands. You can see that their clothes are not armored. What you see consists of people of different varying species. You actually see Twi'leks, you see Rodians, you see humans, you see Deveronians, and you see Aqualish. You can see that their age and genders range from male to female, and you can see that their ages range from young adults to adults. They all look deeply panicked and are whimpering.
Are they emaciated, or do they look sickly? Are these long-term slaves, or potentially, not that Grist is going to know a major thing, but I'm going to know if they're really long-term, like they've...
I like that. I would accept a medicine check or a perception check. If it's a medicine difficulty 2 with 1 black, If it is a perception, difficulty 3 with 1 black. The main reason is due to the lights being off and only the emergency red light. It's hard to distinguish certain.
Even though I am the medic, I'm going to perception it.
Okay.
This will be interesting. So I have 3 successes and 4 threat.
Okay.
Wow.
So remember, a threat can be taken as strain, as you're kind of panicking and quickly trying before you get blasted to identify. They don't look extremely malnourished. They do look underfed. You can see that there are marks on some of their wrist and bodies where you can see that the chains have not been removed for a long time, indicating that they are rarely, if ever, like given a point to be off leash. Most people by this point would be struggling. This is more of a resigned acceptance. So there is a deeper fear of what has been going on than just the physical.
Okay. So I'm standing there looking. I'm not sure what to do.
Yeah, so
This is not a blast everything.
no.
No. Is there a way that I could use the transmitter on the helmet that we have, or a comm thing, to undo their manacles? Would that work
Oh,
at
or
all?
you're trying to like set like an EMP or some sort? Ooh, I really like that idea. Can you give me a mechanics check?
Just rig it to your pulse grenade or something.
Difficulty 3.
Your ion
Need
grenade.
some haywire
Are
grenades.
you,
Yeah.
are you skilled in mechanics?
And so apart from difficulty 3,
So I
again,
won't
I'm
help.
going to add a black dice because essentially what all of this is happening in a matter of like 1 to 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
You are quickly being,
So you pop your helmet off quickly.
For those listening, the black dice, the setback dice.
Yes.
As a way to add difficulties, things for like rain or intense conditions.
Well, I succeeded with 2 strain.
Nice.
2 threats. Yep.
2, yeah.
Yep, so
2
you're going to
threats,
use
sorry.
those as strain?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yep.
so Victus is, I see Twi'lek and I see imprisoned Twi'lek. I am emotionally compromised,
Yeah.
but I'm not a fool. I understand that me reacting would endanger them more than anything. So I'm gonna actually raise my hands out. What are you doing?
Pause right there. Excellent, Victus. We'll put a pause as that's acting. Jimothy, quickly through your mind, you can think of a quick way to overload, like pretty much the speaker and the transmitter to try to like get to the same frequency and unlock these manacles. You need at least a couple of seconds to just set the dials, but it would be doable.
Okay.
So are we still in the lift?
Yeah, this is a matter of seconds. Essentially, the door opened. You know when like the movies slow down, it's that.
Yep.
That's all you hear is your own thoughts.
So you
your
could
own-
zip slightly to the side and onto the panel and leaving the 2 of us in open view.
Victus, as you raise your hands, that begins to soak back in as you guys are coming back to your time. Your senses are putting you back. They're dilating back.
Uh-oh.
Can I have... I'm going to flip a black token real fast.
Early on in the game.
I gotta give you
Right.
some-
We got to get access to a light side.
I know.
It's... Don't worry.
I
And then...
immediately spin this white to cancel out. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay, cool. So as this is collecting in, you guys can begin to hear like the click of the helmet transmitter pick off, like an order's about to be given. As that's going, can I have my 2 force-sensitive users
Yep.
give me a cool check, difficulty 3.
1 failure, 1 threat.
1 failure, 1 threat. Okay.
1 threat.
1 threat. Okay. Both of you, as you kind of sit there, you're raising your hands, but this begins to kick off. You feel, for Grist, that feeling of like you're back in your home planet, that primal feeling of, hey, like we just got caught, this is bad, but that feeling of there's a bigger predator right now. And you're actually trying to shift between those two. Like, I have to deal with this now, but there's something very close that's going to cause problems. Victus, what did you have again? I apologize.
I had 1 threat only. The successes and failures canceled each other out.
Okay. Can you roll me a blue? So that would be a boost dice given due to...
2 more advantage, so I mean a net of 1 advantage, no successes.
Okay. Something feels different as you're raising your hands as the comm begins to kick on. It almost feels like the shadows behind the troopers move forward. You feel a feeling that you haven't felt in a very long time.
I've not felt this presence.
And all of a sudden, as that voice kicks on, you hear the first soldier in front of you, kind of raise their blasters, they strangle their Twi'lek child or teenager to keep them, step out, put your weapons down, and then you hear from the back as someone seems to be choking.
Behind the stormtroopers.
Actually, give me a quick perception check.
Sure.
Difficulty 1.
Okay.
All of you who are in the elevator can see this. You can all get that check.
1 success, 1 triumph.
1 success, 1 triumph. Ooh, critical.
2 advantage.
2 advantage.
I didn't. Sorry.
You're like, I just accept. I'm hiding behind the door.
Yeah.
Looking down at our helmet.
That's fair.
I mean,
Is that
I
what you
was.
would like?
I was sort of off to the side, so I don't know that I would
Okay,
see them.
this is excellent. So, Grist, you feel that hunt, you feel the predatory sense coming over you. You look back and you connect to the sound of, had this happen where you've seen other animals being eaten by prey. Victus, you see that the 4 of the 8 troopers seem to have lost control of their slaves as they're trying to grab their throats. You can see they're being strangled. You can't see what's strangling them, but they're choking. The 4 in front don't seem to have noticed that their companions are strangled.
I have written down that what I heard last week in my mind, or I felt it, not sure. I don't know if I heard it, felt it, but something says I won't be interrupted.
You felt that through the Force and heard that.
We are going to Ordvaxen. That's what I have down.
Yep.
Okay.
This is not the same presence that you feel.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, we can roll for initiative if you are trying to engage.
Nope.
I mean, if there's still 4 people
There-
with
Oh, I'm rolling for initiative.
Okay. Essentially, remember, they ordered you to, step out and lower your weapons. What are you doing?
And we roll what? Cool?
You would roll cool because this is an intense situation. Grist is ready to throw hands.
Oh, you'll like it. Trust me.
All right, Trooper. What have I got in here? All right, let me... What do I got? First,
they have these convicts or slaves at gunpoint, correct?
They-
barrels
they're-
to the head or barrels to
barrels
us?
to you,
Got it.
them in front. They're using them as, the disgusting which they're meat shields.
Yeah. Oh, I getcha.
Okay, Grist, what was your...
I've got 1 success.
Okay, anyone else who is ready for combat?
2 successes.
2 success.
1 success, 1 advantage.
Advantage. Okay, we'll roll for them real fast. Let's see if they can survive this.
And we can talk as standard action out of combat order to potentially set something, as long as it's short.
So yes, you can't give rallying speeches,
Right.
contrary to how Andor loves to make that look, which is amazing. Not being paid, guys, just saying.
Really good show.
Got to cover ourselves.
Back
Yes,
to
you
Disney.
Yep. Come on, man, do it. Yes, you can give speeches, but essentially, if it's been 5 minutes of you talking, I'm gonna.
It
have
is
to
going to
cut
be
you.
5 minutes. It's Grist.
Okay. So we have enemy trooper, we have team, enemy trooper, team, and then enemy. So, starting us off will be our first trooper. We're just getting this prepped. Combat hasn't started. Essentially, the one telling you to move out is lower your weapon, step forward.
Victus,
Yeah.
we're going to take a couple steps forward, and when you throw me past all of them, can you do it?
I just step forward. I don't acknowledge.
I step forward as well.
Okay.
I have not
Are
dropped
you-
my
I'll
weapon yet.
trail behind. I'm
Okay.
using them as my meat shield.
Okay.
Are you still working on the helmet?
Well, it's succeeded, or is it something I'm still doing?
You needed a few seconds, so this is the
That's
few
why I was
seconds.
thinking you might have moved around
So,
the
so
corner.
this will be
Okay.
essentially.
I will
have
be
to-
working on the helmet
Yeah.
then.
But
so
are you
you're
coming
gonna
out or are
hide
you
behind
sneaking
and
to the
work on
corner?
it. Right.
I'm
So
going to stay behind and
Good.
work on it.
Can you give me a mechanics check? Let's say this will be essentially a 2 difficulty problem with, I'm going to say 2 setback dice. 1 because you were trying to be hidden, and 2 you were trying to be quick in a high stress situation.
Jimothy, I don't know what you're doing, but don't blow us up.
No promises. I did not succeed.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. 1 failure, no advantage or threat.
No advantage or threat, and 1 failure. Essentially, you're kind of just fumbling behind them. But I mean, you're a Jawa. I imagine it's like you're just holding a helmet and you're looking nervous, while you hold it. It's just they can't quite see you. They're mostly just seeing what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you 2 step forward.
Mm-hmm. We're walking forward.
Okay.
Right now. Throw me now.
All right.
Throw me
All
down.
right, so you roll that force dice.
Yep.
Let's see that dark side point.
No.
Oh, what did you get?
I got 2 white.
Yeah, you did.
Which fits because it's,
I'm trying to protect the
slaves, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give myself the strain.
Working with allies.
Yeah. Do it. He's saving a life, guys. He's calling upon the dark side of the Force to do good deeds.
And you're going to see, I mean, as Grist is talking to you, when you do look at him for a second, he looks pretty beat.
Yeah, me too.
Throw the squid.
All right, I reach around and I squib
Never
him.
toss a dwarf.
I squib him.
Squibs are fine.
You squibify him, right? So yeah, you lift him and toss him. What's the plan?
Yeah, he moves at a walking
Well,
pace across the area.
Oh, is that really? I thought you could throw me.
I don't have
he
throw,
doesn't
I have
he doesn't
move.
throw. He just has.
He's like floating very slowly.
He's like,
I imagine I was eating crap. So I'm thinking I'm going to go like I did up into the.
But that was
but
me
he's
slowly.
Right, I get it, but it was such a short distance. It felt like I was thrown into the.
I can move.
If
The
you took
vents.
a running start or like a leap, do you
Probably.
think?
Yeah, probably if I think it carries his momentum.
Yeah, so
I'll stand by that. Grist,
then I would run.
But there
I'd
is
be like, throw me.
But there is a difference, just for the sake of the rules, between move and throw.
Yeah,
They're 2 different force powers.
And just is
Okay.
also what's happening to the trooper. They're using, because there's no choke, it's called hold.
Right.
They're
Alright.
being held
So,
just around the throat.
What I'm
Yes.
going to do, so I noticed that whatever's going on in the back is going on in the back. So as I'm going up, I now have a different angle on them, which hopefully gives me a position to not as easily hit the hostages.
Okay, so what was the goal, so that way we can see what dice?
The goal was to be thrown on the backside of all 4 of them, giving me their backs, and bam, 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 I would just shoot.
Okay, I can accept that. Because you're trying to land precisely, can you give me a coordination check?
Well, the question I have is, do I actually get their arms still floating? Because there's 2 different things. Either I land, or I'm floating above them.
So what I'm going to give you is, like we just talked about, I'm willing to say if you knew, you're like, hey, throw me. If your plan was to jump and then carry that momentum, I'll help you get there.
Okay.
Because this is the point of DMing. You guys are not here to just murder your team. You're here to help them make cool, awesome Star Wars scenes.
Right.
And
So-
I think that's a very cool, awesome scene, and I want this to happen.
Yep.
So give me a coordination, because you're trying to land.
Not athletics.
Yeah, not athletics, because you're not
Okay.
just raw jumping. You are trying to land facing the backs of the enemy.
Coordinated.
Yes.
Got it. Against?
This will be a 2 difficulty because you're pretty much doing a standing sprint jump. For those who play, platformers.
Oh,
those 2
no,
things
that's
happen.
great. 3 successes.
Ooh,
Nice.
Okay, yeah. So essentially, as you prepare yourself, like you're
I just run and say, throw me!
and as you jump, you pretty much help stabilize
Yeah.
him.
Yep.
Do you like flip and turn around? To
Yeah,
your face?
yeah, the objective is,
Okay.
that's what I was saying, athletics.
Okay.
So the objective is to land and shoot him in the back.
Okay.
Oh, I love that.
you
Kind
are
of like an
behind-
Ender's Game moment, where he's like
Yeah.
floating
Yeah.
behind the dudes, blasting them.
Love it. So you land behind him.
Because all the hostages are in front.
Yeah.
Essentially, that
Smart.
was your
I love that, Chris.
movement action, your maneuver. So you have the action. Would you like to shoot?
Yes. And then I have a mechanics question.
Oh, go ahead.
If I strain myself to net 0, do I get to take the action, or does the strain knock me out? To do an additional action costs me 1 strain, and 2 strain, and 3
you
strain.
cannot.
Strain yourself out.
I'm not 100% positive you can't.
For the
I think
game right now,
For,
until
for
you
the
look it
game
up.
right now, until I know positively, I would say no. Even
Okay.
though I can imagine a scene where that would actually be cool as hell to do.
Gotcha. Well, so
but for the
let's
sake
hope that
of-
I get some advantages on this roll, but what am I doing?
So you are going to be in engaged combat. So this is a 2 difficulty with a, I'm going to say, boost dice.
I don't necessarily need to shoot the guys directly in front. I'm shooting
true.
the 2 in the front, so I'm
Okay.
not in engaged.
So that would be
range.
short. So that would be
Yep.
one difficulty with
Uh-huh.
a boost dice, because you have caught them by surprise.
Uh-huh.
They are pretty much flat-footed, and then whatever your weapon skill is with its dice.
Gotcha. All right, so I have 2 successes. I have 2 successes.
2 successes. All right. What is your weapon damage?
My normal weapon damage is 6, so I will be doing 7.
So 7. All right. As which one? So imagine they're just sitting as like a 4, like the 4 points.
So from the back, it's my right, Victus's left. The one closest to Victus.
Okay. Boom. As you blast him in the back, he slumps down. You can just see that the slave that was in front of him, this young human male, is kind of like just like kind of holding his like hands like,
Okay.
Panicked.
So I'm going to spend a strain, not another. I'm going to spend a strain and do the same thing. Do I still have the blue die? I'm going to the left
Yes,
hand
because
one.
essentially the turn hasn't gone one round, so this is all
like that.
this is a quick bam bam.
Do the stormtroopers have rifles?
These guys do have blaster carbines. They don't have blaster.
Grab one for me.
I feel a disturbance in the force.
I feel a message in the force.
As though a lock cried out and then was silenced.
They're like, Locke, just come on, guys.
I got the heavy one from the other guy, so I'm probably pretty good.
But you want to. You don't need another gun. You're already planning on
I
taking
want
that
all
one.
the guns,
He
though.
wants
I
all the
need
guns.
for parts. If
I
I'm
will
not going
have
to
all the
use
guns.
them, I'm going to use
You
them
wanted
for
the
jury
turret
rigging.
that's here to come back to the ship.
If we had time,
you
we
wanted
were
to
going to
make
load
it
the
mobile.
turret. Yeah,
He's
it
like,
would be
"Man,
nice.
Man, if I could learn how to build like a cyber brain to auto turret, and I can put that on the side, so we have one on the top, one on the bottom, one on each side, and just computerize it.
My dream is to just have like weapons coming out of every direction.
Copy that. You know what's
Noted.
the best defense? Offense.
So my net is this: 2 successes, 2 advantages. So I'm going to do the 7 damage to the one on the left.
Yeah.
The 2 advantages. Can I now take another action costing me, because the first one costs 1, take another action which costs me 2?
So advantage can be used to do a few things. Remember, you can pass dice. You can do that. You can also recover strain,
Which I'm going to do. My
Which
question is, can I recover 2 strain, which gives me the ability to do another action? How many actions can I do?
you can't do another action. You can do another maneuver.
All right,
you
so
can
2
move.
actions, 2 maneuvers max in the round.
1 action, 1 maneuver.
But I already did a second action by spending a strain.
You spent.
You can't spend a strain to do 2 actions.
You,
Right? That
you
one?
spend strain to
do
use
maneuvers.
another maneuver.
So
So, you being thrown wasn't combat
I get
action.
it.
So
So the first thing I did was land. I shot. I call that an action.
Yeah, that's
I
an
asked
action.
you, can I spend a strain to shoot the guy next to me, which is what I just did.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
screw that up.
Sorry, I misunderstood. No, because your maneuver, your action was to shoot. Your maneuvers like move around. You can't use another action.
All right. So
I
that
apologize.
we will not even worry about the second roll. Instead, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move back into the group of 4 that I saw choking.
Ooh, okay. So then, as you step back and hide, are you trying to hide or just like?
Yeah, actually, I would be trying to hide from them, but hide just means standing behind
You're taking
slaves
cover.
and
Taking cover.
slaves and other troopers. I'm basically trying to create havoc over there. So
Understood.
they turn around and shoot their buddies. You know,
Love it. Beautiful. Thank you for the clarification.
Squib tactics.
Sorry for misunderstanding. I
Not a
apologize
problem.
about that.
so I didn't need to spend the extra strain, so I'm still sort of up.
Yep. And make sure you took those recoveries. All right.
No, I didn't get the recoveries because I didn't get to actually make the roll that gave me the recoveries.
Oh.
So I'm
my
still where I am.
misunderstanding. Okay. This leaves Victus and Jimothy because the person he shot would have been next turn. So essentially, whoever wants to go first and then second.
You can go first. Vic.
Okay. So the a flying squib probably distracted them a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
I want to, as I'm at right after I force move Grist, if it like they look away, the one that reveals like his torso the most from behind the slave, I want to throw my spear at him.
Absolutely.
As like in the same like I throw Grist and then in the same like energy
yeah.
throw my spear at him. And then I don't know, maybe for flavor, I make it really accurate by force moving it towards him too.
Well, what's the power to get it back? Is there a power to pull it back?
pull.
Force pull?
Move.
I don't
Force move count
I
as
think
force push
move
and pull.
Move.
There's
move.
push. I don't think there's a pull power. I think the move basically is the
And
pull.
you just
Yes.
push it the other direction. The problem is it is moving at walking speed.
Yeah.
So if he throws it 30
Right.
feet, it walks back to
Right,
him.
but I mean, we have many examples where it comes back much faster than
because it's a different power.
speed.
It's so
Okay,
like
that's where
well,
I'm-
well,
okay, that's
so,
what I'm after,
Well,
yeah.
I get what power you're asking. You're asking is like if he threw a weapon and summoned it back, like when Jedi's throw.
or if he was like
lightsaber.
hanging upside down in like an ice cave and he just
Okay, that's
You know.
that's move. if he's Luke hanging in an ice cave, that's move. If he actually throws his spear, there is the force power saber throw.
Right, no, I'm talking about
Which is
after
super
he threw
dumb,
it,
that
but
it's
to get
its
it
own
back.
unique power.
I'm just, like that
Gotcha,
seems like a
gotcha,
cool.
gotcha.
interactions.
I will look up the force powers and I will explain them to you momentarily.
Oh yeah, no, I mean yeah,
So,
I appreciate it, but that's
can you give
I'm
me?
just
Sorry,
curious. It's not
can you
necessary
give me a roll to
Yep.
attack? What you are adding is because this is short range, but you are using a melee weapon. It is the 2 difficulty. It is 2 blues.
Oh wow.
Because again, 1 is this is a surprise attack that you have ambushed on them, and 2, well, your squib's causing a lot of panic back there. Because getting shot by a feral cat in the back is kind of terrifying.
So did the,
That's insane.
I swear to God, I swear to the force if you got 0.
Oh my god, no, hang on.
It's funny.
Okay, one second. I gotta do this math. There's some head math real quick. Okay, I got 1 failure and 7 advantage.
And you have limited strain damage.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Start handing out those blues.
Yeah, pass on that good luck, man, to everyone else.
You get a blue, and you get a blue, and you get a blue.
So, what do
I
you
have
think you know what? I'll allow it.
And you get 1 too, because you can do it.
I mean,
to
I
your
can,
next-
yeah.
if you have 7, you can give 1 to the next person, and then you have 6, and then you can pay 2 to give 1 to any person.
Yep.
And then you can pay 2 to give another one to any person.
Yep.
And still have 2 left over.
Which I used to reduce my 2 strain.
Right.
So, boom, boom, boom.
Okay,
Nice.
so a couple other things.
Ooh.
You can spend 3 to gain a +1 melee
Yeah.
or ranged defense until the end of the active character's next turn.
Yep.
Wow.
What's
That's
the
pretty
other?
good.
There's one other that says force the target to drop a weapon is willing. It doesn't say based on a
It
successful
says
hit.
force the target to drop a melee or ranged weapon he is wielding.
So, it doesn't say you have to hit. So you could essentially just have caused enough
Missed.
panic that they dropped the slaves, this weapon. You have 7 points to play with. You tell me how.
I would like to,
So you healed strain, right?
yep, heal 2 strain, 5 more advantage. I would like to have him basically the equivalent of dropping the hostage.
Okay.
2 left.
2 left. I will use that to give myself a blue.
Oh, okay. You 2 to choose.
2
your
is
next
for an
person.
allied, 1 is for you.
He can choose the next person. Perform an immediate maneuver that does not exceed the 2.
The next person is only
Add
1.
blue. Add a boost dice to an allied character's next check, including the active character. He is the active character, so you are choosing for your next round.
Yep.
Perfect.
Understood.
So you and I
Beautiful
did not
use.
get one.
So the slave that this person was holding was a Twi'lek female. She looks older, more motherly. Essentially, as you threw the spear, Grist lands, blaster bolt goes off. The one to the right of you dies.
No, his
No,
left, my
your
right.
left dies. The one to the right with the Twi'lek's hostage. He kind of like turns because he's watching the spear and the thing go, not realizing how close he was to being vibroed. All right, Jimothy.
Alright, well, since one of the stormtroopers dropped their hostage, I think I'm going to take aim at him and
Blast him.
blast him.
So you peek around the corner and notice what's going on. And
I'm just saying, Jimothy, and it's not because I'm the dark side player here. This is like target-rich environment.
I know.
You could
I know.
just do so much boom.
I've been struggling with it, but you know what? I just.
Can you
but it's for
control-
shortened hallway. And
It's there's look at man, you're guaranteed to hit somebody. You just have to roll enough advantage to not hit the people. you
Yeah,
don't
and there's
wanna
the rub. Because I don't think I have enough advantage that I could not blast 8 hostages.
Can we flip a light side point and have the hostage that was freed gain a sudden surge of bravery and grab the rifle on the
we
ground?
could, but I have another
hit on
idea.
the ground.
Yeah.
Why not the detonators on the trooper?
I have another idea.
Oh, well,
You
that would
guys
be
can
that
discuss.
would be
It's
more
your
exciting.
points to use and how you want.
Yeah, I have another idea.
It's
I
just
think
'cause you want
next
the
round.
blaster.
No, I really have a better blaster. I'm just joking about wanting the blaster.
All right, so that's.
Barry has a plan,
Are they
though, so-
short range, medium range?
If you're blasting the one that has just lost their hostage,
Yes.
which we like.
Okay, so I looked up the move force power. I just
It would be short range.
sorry, I apologize. I just
Sorry, one second. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Real quick pause. Short range with 3 boost dice. 1,
Oh.
because again, Grist is causing havoc. 2, this was an ambush. 3, the person is now looking backwards at a cat and a squib, a flying vibro spear, and his imminent demise.
Alright. Looks like 4 successes and 2 advantage.
Ooh, beautiful.
Okay, so that was my fiber pistol. That does 5 damage plus 3 is 8.
So 8 damage.
Yep.
8 damage, alright. Yeah, essentially as you blast the troopers looking away, the slave kind of like lets herself go, like kind of like steps back for a second. The spear's like sailing over her head. And you just hit him square in like the chest, knocking him like against the wall as this is all beginning to collapse.
Did you heal strain?
You know what? I didn't, but
The
I will
option 2
now.
would be to spend the 2 to throw a blue
Victus,
dice
can
at
you
her.
explain your force powers?
Yeah, I apologize for interrupting.
Oh, no,
I was
not a
just so
problem, no.
excited because I found the answer.
I
apologize.
We
That was
love
not my
being
intent.
learned.
No worries.
Did not mean to interrupt.
Oh, not a problem at all.
So the move power that I do have, allows you to move objects at a slow pace. If I upgrade it later, so there's one upgrade, I've increased the range of it, and then I can upgrade control.
Oh,
when you use
hell
the
yeah.
control upgrade, you can hurl objects to actually damage targets.
Okay.
So it's the same
Okay.
power, I just have to put more points into it.
Yes.
And that means I can throw Rancor-sized objects at speed.
It's a Rancor cannon.
Guys, have you ever seen what we call the Rancor shotgun?
Hey, I need like 15 Rancors, guys. I can't explain.
God, this
What the hell are they doing
D&D
with a cage full of rancors?
This is D&D level of spellcraft. We're like, guys, I'm a druid. I'm going to take the spell fly. I'm going to fly up 200 feet. I'm going to use summon animal as I rain cow meteors down. I speak for the green! Yeah, welcome to what you're doing with the Force.
Have you heard of the peasant railgun?
Yes,
Yes, I love the peasant railgun.
Okay.
Oh my god, that's so
It's
great.
so great.
We'll have
yeah.
to do it by the side of
Right.
like, broken D&D mechanics that you could explain. You blast them. Did you heal, Jimothy?
What?
Heal strain?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
Okay, beautiful. So that one's gone, that one's gone. That leaves my 2 guys. What are they going?
Well, my feeling is right now, if we flip that white to a black, I think with everything that's going on, I think the base lights flick out and flick on.
Ooh.
What do you guys think? Flip
I'd be
that
able to
way.
do that.
Ooh, yes, give me
There
that
we go.
dark side. Do it. All right, so
Dark
the base
side,
lights
literally.
flick out, flick back on. Are you saying they flick back on? Like,
Well,
to
if I get my
normal?
choice, they don't flick on till my turn.
That's it's essentially
your point.
To my next
something
action,
the
yeah.
Force is acting through this mechanic right now. So lights go off, everything goes black until your next turn when the round starts. They go back on. Okay, so everyone's dark night fighting. Excellent. That's gonna make this super cool because he's going to do this. All right, first soldier. Cool. So I have 1 success, 2 advantage. The sound you hear is lights go dark. Everyone kind of, there's a second of sound catching up. You hear coming from that like helmeted, control voice. They're like, "Don't move!" Then you hear like a thud as someone got smacked. You hear a person cry out, and you hear like a collapse to the ground. And then next person's gonna blast her off.
So a light lights up for a half second.
Yeah, as a red light blow.
So for the game master on your roll,
Yes.
are threats
Still-
beneficial for you?
I roll by the same
rules
Same
on the
rules.
things, okay.
The only thing that is different for me is I can use for my enemies. I can use dark side tokens as ways to like alter their power. So one of my characters, I get to add dark side points to add more damage. Super fun thing to get to do. So the blaster goes off. You see a quick flash of red. You hear the Wilhelm scream. And
that was good.
Yeah, love it. Thank you, soundboard. Thank you. All right, lights are still dark, so starting back up at the top, my trooper who would have started us off is dead, but there's still one more left, and then there's you 3. So lights are still dark. Who would like to go for round 2? What would be your order?
I'm still up for being first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same order.
All right, let's see if my guy can do some good things. You just hear the panicked breathing of coming through that visor. Everyone just stay calm! Just get on the ground! Just get on the ground now! That is what you're hearing, as my man has failed his cool check.
Gotcha.
Because he shot his
Losing his
comrade
cool.
in a panicked darkness. Alright, so
Good
Grist,
job.
lights come on.
Now, legitimately, I am totally fine with you making me make some kind of a roll to reassess the situation.
Essentially, this is happening within time in combat is I think it's like 6 seconds. It's a few.
Usually
it's,
6
there's,
seconds,
There's
yeah.
a fair amount of time for you to use your fun OODA loop, observe, identify, decide, and then act upon.
Okay.
So what you see to now describe, you see 3 dead troopers, remnant troopers, one that you blasted in the back, one that was blasted in the front, and then one that was blasted from the side. The Twi'lek slaves has picked up a blaster. The human has run. The Aqualish is struggling with this one guy who's telling everyone to get down. He's just pointing his blaster at everyone, put his back to the wall. You can see he's very panicked. And then you can see the 4 in the back.
Now I'm with the
Yes.
4 in the back,
Yeah.
with the 4 slaves
Yeah.
and the 4 people.
Yeah.
So what's going on directly around me right now?
As things got dark, you felt it was real dark where you're at for some reason. What is terrifying, you know what, I actually do want you to give me a cool check again.
Okay.
Because lights went off and then lights went back on. This will be a 3 difficulty, 3 purple dice.
Okay.
So as a point of clarity, the guys that choked in the back, they were choked by the collars.
No.
Oh,
This is the fun part,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I was
failures.
worried about.
2 failures. Okay, Grist, you are now afraid. So we get a status condition.
I was
Cool.
hoping they were choked by the collars and not.
No. The
There's
citizens,
an entity.
the slaves are
But-
okay. The troopers are the ones being choked.
That's the only reason why I moved.
Yeah.
Because half of the combatants just got nailed and everyone's
I
just
missed that.
Let me
misfocused.
see.
Okay.
Sorry, I gotta look
I thought,
up.
I thought the back slaves were choked. The front slaves were left as meat shields.
Nope.
Okay.
So how many failures and how many threats?
2 failures.
2 failures. All right. You get to now add 2 setback dice to all of your actions for the rest of this encounter.
Okay.
As essentially, you are in panic because what happened as you kind of stopped, as the lights turned back on, and there's that second of like this man being like the sound of his like plasteel armor clacking against each other. You realized you stopped hearing the. And as you look to your left and right, you realize that the 4 troopers are kind of like their feet are dangling, like they have been hung, as they're just head lolled and arms at the side. They aren't holding their slaves. They're pretty much just hanging from the air. There is nothing around their necks that you can see, but they look very identifiably as dead.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, I realize I'm shorter than anyone else here, but I'm going to put my furry hand up and go, "Follow me!" And we'll run towards the trooper. I'm trying to rally through leadership the guys behind me.
I love that. So give me a leadership check.
Okay. I have an ability it doesn't get a blue. I have an ability that lets me reduce 1 black die.
So so you are going to get a leadership difficulty. This is going to be a 3 difficulty, so 3 purple. You have the 2 black, the one that you lose because of this, because of your ability. Is there anything else that we think would add positives? You know what? I would say add 1 blue just
I was
for the
hoping
fact.
for that.
The reason
Because we saw one Twi'lek pick up the.
Didn't we get a blue?
No, I have an ability to mitigate that.
Yeah, because he gained 2
One of my
black
force
from his
abilities.
fear, and he has the ability to do leadership checks with it. I'm going to say the blue
Didn't Ty
because
7 give him a blue?
No,
Ty
we
gave
ended up using it
himself
for other
blues.
things.
Victus gave himself. He emboldened himself.
So I have 1 success
Okay.
and 2 threat, which I think takes me out. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Follow me!
Boom! I have 1 strain left.
Beautiful.
So I have 2 successes.
All right. Yeah.
one success.
As you emboldened these
1 success. I have 1 success.
these now currently scared, bewildered, but hopeful slaves.
So that was 1 action.
Yes. Is there?
Can I do anything, or was that a maneuver? Was that an action?
Technically, that would be an action. Actually, no. It would be as maneuver because there are units that allow you to use your maneuver to boost other people.
Okay.
Are you issuing them a command? Or
Yeah,
are you
I said,
just,
let's get him. That's what I
that
said.
would be that. Would
Follow
be
me, guys, get him!
Then that would be an action. If you were just
All right.
boosting them to be like, hey, like we can do it like a bar.
So I could
That's a
spend a
maneuver.
strain to take a second action.
You can only spend strain
No.
for
To
take a maneuver.
And for what it's worth, you can trade an action to take another maneuver.
Yes.
But you can't spend a maneuver or any strain to take another action.
So no problem. So I've taken an action. My maneuver is to run forward with him.
Gotcha. Okay. Before this, Victus and Jimothy, let me see how my slaves do. 1, 2.
Get them, slaves.
Get them, slaves. Get them. Get them.
Get them, boys.
All right. So essentially, as this has gone off, God, wow, they did really good.
Good. Yeah.
To understand behind, I got
wait, I thought he was rolling for
they
stormtroopers.
I rolled for the slaves to be like, are they going to rush this guy, and then essentially what is their damage they're doing? So they're just going to pummel this person. The one with the blaster isn't going to shoot into the group. They got 2 triumphs.
Oh my God.
So essentially, like that, you see a mob descend upon this trooper, and the sound of like pummeling commences. You hear the sound of the thud, 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 thud,
Oh, yeah.
as the 4 bodies behind that you see the troopers were kind of
Oh,
standing
that kind of
slump.
thumping. Okay.
Yeah, the ones that you ran away from to lead the charge slump. You are out of combat. What are you guys doing?
All right, so if they pummeled him down, I'm going to make sure that the gun is away from him. I'm not going to arrest it if one of them grabs it, but
Yeah.
I'm taking it away from him.
Yeah, he would be unconscious. Essentially, what is remains is these slumped troopers. Their arms are still, the slaves are still shackled. Jimothy, you would have been able to set off that device to do
Okay.
as a quick EMP to free them all.
So I will grab the weapon he was using. Is it a rifle or a gun?
All of these ones are using the blaster carbine. This is the
So more, it's a big thing. So I'm going to grab it. I'm dragging it behind me, but now I'm walking down the hallway where the 4 fell, and I'm like, hello? Anyone there?
Okay.
And I'm dragging it. It is not in any kind of armed position.
Gotcha. 1 second. What are the rest of our team doing?
I'm gonna loot for some grenades.
All right, Jimothy. Jimothy's going on a scavenger hunt. There are 8 troopers. Each of them have 2 frag grenades.
A little louder, please.
Sorry. There are 8 troopers. Each of them have 2 frag grenades.
Now, do you get an encumbrance at level at some point with all these grenades?
Yes.
Probably.
There is deeply. So
What is
You're
a
just,
grenade?
you're just holding the front end of your skirt up.
Oh,
Like,
I have
you're like
this.
apple picking.
The
like,
encumbrance of a frag grenade is 2, and a stun grenade is 1. That's the only 2 I know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So they are heavy, which is why you want bandoliers and backpacks
What?
and
Yeah,
things like
Yeah.
that.
I'm gonna have
My-
to invest in that.
Oh my God! The harness I have only adds 3 encumbrance, so I could carry 1 frag grenade and 1 stun grenade.
Yeah, you
and that's the
essentially-
entirety of what my harness helps.
Yep.
Dang.
Yeah.
I
Carry
bought a,
weight. They are very much like you pick up and go.
I'm probably encumbered then.
I imagine you like built
Yeah.
some type of satchel to drag. Like you're just kind of like ooh, like as like is it the Jawa thing to like scavenge?
Well, yeah, but they
Or
all have
magpies.
bandoliers and utility belts, and some have backpacks. So
Yep.
Yeah.
that's one thing that I thought was missing from the
They-
art was there was no backpack with an
Yeah.
antenna sticking up.
Yeah,
off
they do have the utility belt.
Yeah.
The utility belt counts as like reducing, gaining I think like 2 encumbrance. It allows them to pretty much carry their ammo and their grenades. That's the big benefit to them.
Okay. Victus?
So, first off, I'm going to move my spear back to my hand,
Of course.
slowly.
Rather than like rather than walking over and picking it up.
No, I would like it to if it's on the ground, because I missed.
It's-
so it's
it's in
like
the
tink.
wall.
Oh, it's in the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty badass then. I was gonna say if it's like on the ground.
You gave it a good throw, and it's a vibro knife, or it's a vibro spear,
Yeah.
so meaning it has that edge that can actually block lightsabers. It digs
So I'm
in.
gonna be like casually walking towards it as it casually floats towards me at the exact same pace.
Love it.
And like it's just gonna kind of fall into my hand. I'm not really gonna react to it, kind of thing like that. So you're looting the bodies.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna kind of sneer.
But
And I'm gonna keep walking forward to where he told everyone to charge with my spear.
I see you do the spear doodle, and I go, "Oh, genie!" That's pretty cool.
Very cool. The slaves are kind of like huddled down, like they very animalistic. They don't know what to make of this if you're going to try to enforce it. So they pretty much just like pause as you guys are searching and doing your thing.
You're still awake, right? You haven't passed out.
Yeah, I'm not passed out.
He's exhausted, but he is.
That's why I'm dragging the card.
As,
Okay, cool.
as you kind of are both facing towards this, even though the lights are on,
There's
there
There's
still
a patch.
seems like a darkness sitting, and then you realize out moving from this shadow,
It's a devil.
the shadow itself
Diablo.
seems to take a bipedal creature form. What
devil.
you see is this very pale green skinned
not a devil.
reptilian scaled Trandoshan. Nice. As it's kind of like unfurling itself from the wall and shadow, you see that its face has
guys are in trouble.
like severe burns, and like it almost looks like
fine.
someone ripped the scales off and have like burned it. You see that its eyes are these deep blue. The armor is made of what looks like some type of animal or beast, like hardened leather, and it's this blackish red, maybe because you can smell it. The smell of like blood has just soaked and permeated this armor. You see that it covers everything but up to the forearms and past the knees. The body contains many scars across it. Some that look like cuts, some that look like blaster bolts, some that appear to have been burns. The biggest ones for Victus that you see are the scarred parts around the wrist, which indicate like manacles that have been left for years. On the hip of this individual are 2 vibro axes.
Ooh.
The creature steps forward.
Not a slave.
Not a slave. Steps forward as you ask, like, who's there? It doesn't seem to, like, focus on you, Grist, as it's maintaining this, like, predatory look at Victus.
So I'm gonna do the kind of double take, realize where he's looking. Victus, put down or aim the spear lower, or do something so you look less threatening.
Victus, you're getting a strange feeling.
Is it like a... Never mind, I'll roll.
Give me a cool as you're getting plagued by flashbacks.
Yes.
All right. And against...
This would be... Oopsie. It escaped. It escaped! Blast him!
The dice got out. Get it.
Get it. This is going to be a 2 difficulty.
Okay.
Reason being is how much time has passed.
Dad needs a new pair of shoes.
Thank you, Barry, or thank you, Grist, for being a dark side point for me. I didn't even need to flip a dice.
That's okay. That's still a success. Success to advantage.
All right, you can recover your strain. Who you see before you is
I don't. Spend the 2 to pass to somebody else.
Is a familiar face. The flashback to your time as a slave in the Empire. Walking across, barefooted across hard red sand. Your time in the deep mines with pitch blackness only held alight by, the one single torch as you guys were mining. The familiar figure that you saw when you were first granted your freedom, when your chains were broken and you were allowed to stand in the training regiment. The familiar Trandoshan, aged quite many years of your 50 years of carbonite freezing. You see Graz Akrut.
So I recognize him.
You can see that he's looking at you in a way that he's almost disbelieving what he sees.
So, just clarification, just because I want to just fully understand what's going on here. Was he a instructor, basically?
No,
he was a
fellow slave who... Part of your...
He was also becoming an Inquisitor, but I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, you don't know what happened to him. He was a slave. You guys were selected together. You know that you were chosen. You don't know why you were chosen.
Would you say we are friends?
You remember your time with him. There would be little to no friends in your past.
Right, exactly. I would agree.
What you have is a person who is a shared respect. What you remember from Graz, I will give this to you as even though it would be a lore for other people. Trandoshans have a very peculiar belief system where they have what's called a scorekeeper as their goddess. Essentially, their entire belief system is based around hunting, killing, and earning points. The more dangerous things are, the more points you earn, the more graces you earn, essentially, when you pass into the afterlife. When he was taken as a hostage and he is taken as a slave, he didn't just lose his points, he didn't just lose his ticket into heaven. He was essentially stripped of any chance of regaining it. So what you both have is a deep seething hatred that only the blood of the Imperials can fill. And the fact that you both know how to survive and are capable of survival is what allows you, like, what you remember. You just remembered that, hey, if I was ever to try to escape, this is the man I would try to get on my side, and we were going to go wreak havoc.
What are you doing here, Graz? As I walk forward, my spear held out to its side.
As you kind of walk with it.
No, I'm thinking when I walk with my spear, I walk with my hand high on the haft, just a little bit below the head, with the main body of the spear behind my body.
Gotcha.
So I'm walking towards him like that.
Wait,
Gotcha.
You know him?
As you do, you can see, from the burnt and, scarred lip kind of, twitch. Trandoshans always kind of look like, dogs is they don't really smile. They just kind of like snarl. Hunter youngling. Trandoshan's tend to talk in their own language. When they do talk in basic, there's a lot of like S's and
Yes.
that very snake sound.
Yeah.
I see the dark couldn't take you after all these years.
No lack of trying.
How do you know this guy? I'm walking with him,
Yeah.
still dragging the carbine.
He doesn't seem to watch you. He just seems to watch
Grist, I would warn against the being casual around this man. He's one of the most dangerous men I've ever met.
What's his name?
He already said his name.
As you
I
kind
didn't
of
hear it.
yeah, as you approach, he laughs. He's like, he quickly like gives you like a look. You see his snarl kind of like falls to that tight-lipped. It's hard because there's been so much like damage that it still kind of has like almost a sneer on the right side. I see you bring your meals ready with you.
Okay, my ears go down and I stop walking forward.
Rati Grist, help me loot these stormtroopers. I can't carry all these grenades by myself.
I look back, and then I drop the carbine and walk back.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, Graz? I'll ask it again, a little more forceful this time.
There's no need for anger towards me. We hunt the same. You're here because the remnant steals from what was stolen from us. Yes?
We're here for our own purposes. I can only assume that you would be working for them if you're in this place behind them.
You hear him actually kind of like, he steps his talons from his feet clicking against the ground, and he opens his mouth. Work with them, never. Take what their knowledge was. Yes. Break them. Hunt them. Earn my points. Find them in afterlife where the scorekeeper can't find them, yes. But never work with these weak animals.
I see. And how is it that you got in here then?
Many years you were gone, and I learned. I grew strong hunter. I seek those who wronged us. I've learned how they hunt. I hunt better now.
Are there others of you? Others who have survived?
He legitimately, like, stops for a second. You see that kind of snarl again. Too weak to survive.
I see.
You are only one worthy of hunting with Graz.
I do suppose our goals align, Graz Akrut. But if we work together, we need to make sure we're very clear about our intentions. I'm here for a specific item. It's important to me. It's important to the people who hire me. As long as we can walk away with it, you and I have no reason to cross blades.
You see he, like, his tongue lolls out as he, like, licks against his lips. Graz does not seek items. Graz seeks kills. Whatever item you want, go for it. Graz must question, though. There's been many cycles. Have you enslaved yourself to someone? Is this what owes them?
I don't laugh. So Victus doesn't laugh. I, as the player, laughed. So immediately, as he says that, I'm going to, like, use force to slide my haft of my spear out and then point it directly at him like, no one enslaves me, Graz. No one.
Beautiful. Give me that force dice. I just want to see what it does.
Sure. Too white.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Love it. Oh, my God. So cool.
All right, I'll suffer 2 more strain.
Perfect. Yeah, pretty much you'll insult him back. He just sits there. He doesn't actually flinch from what happens.
Right.
You've grown stronger as well. Graz might be able to help. But remember, as we've always said, when you strike to kill. Graz will not make that mistake. So essentially, Graz is offering to assist you. Your agreement, it sounds like, from my understanding, let me make sure that I understand, is Graz.
Sure.
The issue is, hey man, you'll let him help you as he goes to hunt whoever he's hunting. You're gonna have him help you find this. He can't touch that device, right?
Additionally, Graz, you will not harm any captives we find. They are to be off the menu.
As he looks at Grist and Jimothy, who are looting bodies and
Right.
pushing them away and talking. I'm assuming you're talking to the
Cordwood.
we're
stacking them.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what we're talking about. It's do you think Victus is going to go with him?
Yeah, the currently freed slaves. Are you helping them or doing anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Graz just kind of looks at them and then looks back at you. Weak, not worthy of scorekeeper.
All right. I pull my blade away from his face and bring it back into its ready position.
It's got a point.
As that's going on,
no point.
what
I mean,
are
literally.
you two doing? Grist, it sounds like you and Jimothy had something maybe you want to talk.
The whole thing is hearing that. I would just say, you think Victus is going to leave us?
Nah, he won't leave us.
Okay.
Rati Grist, you missed a couple of kabooms over there. I'm basically
realize
Jimothy's
I don't
trying
have
to
anything to carry
distract
these
him.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to
Armloads.
carry him, and yeah, that's what I got.
We're making a pile of grenades in the elevator so we can bring it back later.
Well, we were going to hike back to the ship, but since I'm actually riding through the jungle on a speeder right now, at some point we could bring whatever we find if we're not chased out of
get
here
that.
by...
But nobody's told us that yet, so.
So, as you guys are collecting your things, are you going to plan to head back?
No, we got to head farther
have
in.
to
We're
find
still
that
looking for the JR-12 or whatever it
Yes.
is.
Jimothy's lovely firearm.
The JL-12F. All right.
JL-12.
As that was
Yeah.
going on, Locke, you were in
Screen
a...
wipe transition.
Yeah, screen wipe. That's Peter. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
It's revving down on the throttle as hard as it'll go, like a rancor out of hell, just making my way through the jungle, veering, left
Yeah.
and right, trying to dodge trees.
Love it. Yes, it's making these sounds. You're coming through the trees. The viewers would see random animals passing by as you're going fast. Even an Ackley kind of starts, and then it's just you're it's gone. It's just hisses and then turns and snaps at a monkey swinging by, crushing it. You make it to your ship. What are your plans here?
Awesome. So, my thoughts are that I need to get this bird in the sky as quickly as possible. So, from the radio traffic we overheard, we weren't really sure if we were going to need to make, a quick escape or not. So instead of just hiking back through the woods for 2 hours, we thought, let's bring the ship to the garrison. So that's my objective right now. Reach the ship, get it in the air, get it back to the garrison, and my first target, regretfully, is going to be that badass cannon on the ground so that it doesn't blow us out of the sky while we're trying to leave.
All right.
So that's my objective, is get back to the garrison, strafing run, destroy the cannon, and look for a spot to land nearby.
All right, I love it. So you come in, start flipping switches, getting a reading, everything's kind of coming on. So you are piloting the ship. Give me which is still a spaceship, so it's still a space piloting role. Essentially, you're trying to take off and head over to this direction. This will be a 2 purple difficulty.
Okay,
I'm
so
going to add...
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm going to add 1 setback dice because you don't have a crew. This ship, I believe, needed 2 other people. You needed a pilot, a co-pilot, and an engineer, I think it needed.
Oh yeah, I'm not going, I'm not charting a course out into space.
No,
I'm just
yeah.
literally trying to drive to the dot that we
Yeah.
think is the garrison, on the map. So
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. You're going to do...
You'll move at force speed of Victus.
you move at 4 speed, Rancor 1.
oh god.
Holy cow, we're going Rancor 10.
No successes.
Everything's measured in
I rolled 4 hits and 4 failures. No, go ahead.
You know how much Rancor power's in this thing?
It took over the American measurement
Yeah, there's
system.
no horsepower, it's Rancor power.
Right.
We don't measure parsecs or...
Everything's in weight, and Rancor speed, and Rancor power.
Yeah.
Imperial measurements,
I get 4 Rancors to the gallon. How much is that? All right.
Rancors are going crazy right now.
So I got one advantage, but what's funny is I rolled 4 successes and 4 failures.
Okay. Okay. Technically, your ship's fine. Like, you're not crashing. Don't ever consider that like a null as a crash or like a failure. It's just, it's not going as well as you'd want it. So you're flying. You're getting there. You can see the tower moves a lot closer and quicker than your speeder bike did. Maybe because you do have a starship moving more than Rancors. So as you're coming across this tower, you remember from the radio chatter when you first came back over the helmet that your team said, like, hey, something's going wrong. Or sorry, you heard that, hey, we have intruders.
Well, like I heard from the helmet that someone was on the way back. This is my recollection, and please correct me if I'm wrong. But I heard on the helmet that someone, maybe more powerful or important was on the way back. And at first I thought it was this person that was recently met, but out of character I thought that.
Gotcha.
Of course I didn't know anything. So, but I warned Victus, and his response to me was to go get the ship. Now, not knowing that there are actually slaves down here, that actually helps us out a lot because we could rescue the slaves as well.
Yep.
So, but I don't, I have no idea. I'm just...
One minor correction, because I want to make sure that we are clarifying. The voice that you heard wasn't coming to the place. They sounded like they were preparing to leave.
Oh.
And they weren't going to be like, they didn't want you guys to stall them. So when they said, like, we're going to Ord
I
Vaxel,
misunderstood.
I apologize.
Okay.
I want to make sure
I
I
won't
clarify.
be interrupted. We're going to Ord Vaxel.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, but that was the voice you heard. Now, that was a separate situation than what I heard in my
what
helmet.
You were hearing in the helmet were the troops returning.
Right,
Because
but I thought they
basically-
had a command or something that was
No,
on the
no.
way back. That was my misinterpretation.
My bad at explaining. I want to make sure we got
No
that.
worries. I mean, I
So-
think it's fine anyway. It worked out because, like I said, we don't now have to march, 10 slaves, 8 slaves, 7 through the woods,
at
through
least
the
8,
jungle.
maybe more. So you
And we
do-
can pick up the gun.
Yeah.
No.
So remember, there's the north and south turret. Currently,
Right.
what you are seeing as you're flying over, I will give you this as you're kind of heading. There is a lot of ground troops. Remember, there was about 3 or 4 platoons coming back. So you're counting, these things move in groups of 3 or more troopers. You're counting at least 12 that you can pick up on your sensors. They're trying to pretty much make it back to the compound.
They're not back at the compound yet.
No.
Like, as
They're-
I'm flying
you're
over, I'm
kinda
picking up
flying-
life forms on the
you're
surface.
seeing these
Okay.
people like move through the trees on their own speeders, on their own like feet.
So we don't have time to disassemble the cannon and move it into the... Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, I want to be clear.
Alright.
You can blast who you want
Yeah,
to
no.
blast. Save the turret if you need to.
No, I mean, the turret was my first target, but I was thinking maybe the other turret that's on the other side of the building, might come in handy if we had
could be.
time. But
You
at
never
this
know. You
at
never
this
know.
rate, it doesn't look like that's the case. So I am just gonna put the pedal to the metal and get into the garrison as quickly as possible. On the way in, I will. I mean, I guess if it makes sense, like if there's nobody in the garrison when I arrive, I could land and then move to the gunnery station and just shoot the gun.
Good.
But if nobody's on it,
But remember, your gun has 2 turrets. That
Yeah.
also have 2 blasters.
but if somebody's on it, then
Hold a hover and just run
Well,
back
well,
and get in the
hey,
gun.
hey, so-
yeah, you can do that. Go run and jump in the belly gun. It's just
technically,
floating there, and I'm like,
You could do that. The other fun thing is this is the fun part of starships. Technically, one person, the co-pilot, would essentially man the guns. So I would say you could do it from here as you're pretty much sliding your chair between consoles to like keep yourself stabilized if they try to shoot at you. But it would be at an increased difficulty. If that sounds, do it, because essentially the starship allows you to either have one person pilot shoot and do everything because you should be able to.
Right.
Essentially,
I mean,
there is some type of computer system.
really, my primary objective is to eliminate threats and secure our getaway. That's my main objective. I mean, the whole way back, I feel guilty for leaving the crew in the garrison. And I mean, like, I know, halfway there, I'm committed to this, and I can't really do anything about it now. So that's why I'm just in such a rush. But I'm kicking myself, and I just kind of... I followed orders, but I think maybe we misinterpreted the signals that those orders were inferred from. So at this point, I'm getting back. I'm trying to destroy the gun in whatever the safest way is possible. If there's personnel in the garrison at the time when I arrive, then I'll
No,
So if there's not,
they're about where you guys were in the woods.
Yeah.
They have to cross that death field that you thought was a death field. Yeah. And so remember, the gate was blasted open.
is there enough space from the inner gate to the facility to land the ship?
It would be a tight fit. on either the east or west side. There's not turrets or gates there, but you can't put yourself either in the north or south because there's just not enough space.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I want to try to target an area that's as close as possible to the building that they entered before I departed.
Okay. So you're trying to aim for that southern turret. Okay. Roll to attack it. You get to use, because you're using a blaster, you get to use gunnery. You're using these big old quad turrets. The fun part is you get to use both of them, so your damage is going to be astronomical if you can.
If I can hit.
Otherwise, you're tearing up some serious ground.
Yeah.
Essentially,
I blow the cave in the doorway, and you guys are trapped forever.
How high did you fly the ship to fly over this tree line? Like, are you high in the air, or are you doing like a low strafing run?
Yeah, I'm pretty low. I imagine, like,
Okay. Okay.
I didn't go to orbit and come back down or nothing. I was just trying to get there as quickly as possible. So I might need to, slow down a little bit, but
okay. You were trying to shoot something a lot smaller than you, so you don't need to stress. Because it's only when you try to shoot. Oh, firing. Oh no, you actually do have to stress.
Okay, stressing ensued.
So because you're too big and you're pretty much shooting like you're shooting a missile at a mouse.
Oh yeah. No, I mean I just I will come in close because there is no one shooting back, right?
Yeah.
As I understand, there's no reason to strafe back and forth like my original thought was. Instead, I can just kind of come in and slow down and take it easy and just blow it up. If it takes me a little while to train the gun onto it.
This is a 3 difficulty, 1 black setback.
Oh man.
Don't forget that you also still have maneuvers as well. You can aim with the ship.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
And you're rolling gunnery, or is he rolling?
I am rolling.
He's rolling gunnery because he's using the ship weapons.
So I can add a blue with my aim. Okay, let's do that. Yeah. All right, guys, come on.
Victus, don't forget that you have the robot that acts as a shield.
Oh, that was a hit.
I don't know if you forgot about him.
I have absolutely forgotten about it.
You forgot about my droid I gave you?
So that's
apologize.
That.
You should.
Nice, and that's canceling.
I imagine it's just been sitting on your hip, kind of bouncing as you're just
Use me.
I can defend you.
3 hits and 2 threat.
Brutal.
Threat.
Oh god. Okay. 3 hits, 2 threats.
Yeah.
So technically, here's the fun part. You're not taking strain. The ship's taking strain.
Oh, wow.
Your ship systems are kind of frying out as you're trying to override it.
Yeah, just come in and hit the brakes hard.
Yeah, you hit the brakes, the systems stop, and you're like, "Hey, aim for this," and it's too close, and you're like, "You will shoot this."
Just point these barrels at that thing.
So, do you have the damage for your turrets?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, which one?
Do we have the ship?
He's using
You want the dorsal or the...
They're both.
belt?
He gets to fire both because.
Oh, yeah.
Dorsal and the ventral, the twin mediums, the show damage.
Yeah.
It says all 6 close 3 linked.
So
I don't know if I have damage.
So if they're linked,
It should be
but
6.
the individual
It's
barrels
just-
are linked, not the
it's-
2 turrets. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
so it's 6 because it's ship to ship. But the beautiful part is we're going to talk about this as well. You're shooting people, so you add 10 damage on top of that 6. So if you're shooting both blasters, that's 16, so you're doing 32 damage to a target because you are a ship destroying people, and when people shoot back, it's minus 10.
Nice.
So,
right.
essentially, you overstrain the system. You
Blast the hell out of him.
Don't worry, man. That hole is really the turret's gone.
Turret's gone. There's now a crater where it was.
It's you kind of pried open that front door bit. So if it's like a tower, this is gone. This is this area. You built.
Watch your step on the way out.
You pretty much you pretty much hacksawed the side of the building. You just need to yell timber now. Congrats.
Nice.
It's pretty much your guns were da-dum, da-dum, blasting off. Excellent. Yeah. What else do you want to do? You have a technically
I want to land
on the side. Okay.
Yeah, I want to land on the eastern side, the side closer to our. Well, actually, it doesn't matter at this point.
Because you came from the south. They're coming from the south.
So yeah, and we shot the southern gun.
Yes.
And so we'll land on the eastern side.
Okay. You're gonna try to exit the ship, or are you just gonna kind of
Right now, I just want to put the ship down and try to reach out on the radio and see if I can get anybody once I land.
Are you using your radios, or are you using the trooper radio?
We don't. Do we have? I have a comm link. I don't know who amongst us
We all
has
do.
comm links.
Yeah, we all have.
We all have comm links, and I remember that as you guys entered.
Oh, and we ramped them up too.
Yeah, Jimothy did ramp them up. What are you gonna try? What are you gonna try to say?
So, guys, come in. Do you read? Lock. This is Lock. Come in. Do you read?
Do we read?
You guys hear, Lock, come, Lock.
Lock, is that you? Are you back?
Are you guys still alive down there? I'm here with the ship.
You're pretty much hearing every third word.
Right. Yes.
Can I try and
Overcompensate.
boost our...
Yep. Give me a computer skill. Okay, I'm assuming you're going to jury rig from these found other men's comms.
Yeah,
You
why
build a
not? They're
super
not
comm.
using them.
2 difficulty.
It's like the PlayStation 2s that were all rigged together to make like a supercomputer.
Essentially, it's
Good
doable, friends.
times.
It's doable.
Yeah, 2 successes, 1 advantage.
Yes.
Yeah, you kind of now have a strange working, like, I imagine you pulled, like, the cords from the helmet to, like, and, like, strap them around your own comm device, like this terrible Frankenstein, like universal remote of just, like, speakers at the top, and, like, you're just like,
Stuff Jimothy does scares Locke, but also impresses him.
Yeah,
Luckily, he's not here
you
for
got,
this.
You got clear communications.
So you got to talk because you got the device. It's not like
Yeah.
you're handing it to me, are you?
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess I could, but...
Hot potato. Whoop.
All right, Locke. Yep, what's going on?
Jim, you're alive. Did y'all find the JL22 VF or JL12F?
No, my lovely firearm still eludes us.
Oh, do y'all need me to come down? Everything's clear up here right now, but I think they're on their
Is
way.
this
We
open
saw.
where we can hear it
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Tell
This
them
is
tell them
pretty-
to guard the upstairs. We got a way out.
You
No,
guys got, like, a megaphone speaker, essentially.
I believe the term is negative.
Please stay up there and guard that lovely turret gun of yours.
Negative.
Roger that.
Negative.
It's doing well. So just to let you guys know, we need to hurry here. We have several different groups incoming on our position. Pass them by on the way in. So don't take your time.
Okay,
You don't hear the don't. You hear take your time.
I'll allow a black token for that. You know what? Excellent. You've earned that light side point. Is for some
Yes.
reason it just cuts out at that point. It's like, take your time. Don't
Take your
stress.
time.
You take your time.
I love that.
That seems really weird, but okay. We still should go look.
we may also have some additional passengers.
Tell them.
Roger that. Or did you already? Did you tell me that?
Yeah,
yet.
I said
Yeah.
that.
Roger that. Ready and waiting.
All right. So, do we bug Victus yet?
So has this conversation? This has all happened while I'm having this
Yeah.
conversation
You
with.
have finished your conversation.
Graz
They were
Recruit.
looting. Would you walk back? Because you see Jimothy like pulling helmets apart, and you're like, what is she?
All right.
Like, what is he?
Yeah, I'm
doing?
gonna walk back and be like,
Graz will follow.
let's get this bomb of yours and get out of here.
I'm gonna lean in. Is your friend joining us?
He will not harm us.
No, I mean on the ship because we got a bunch of people already.
I look over my shoulder. Graz Recruit, do you need a way off this planet, or do you have your own means?
He again did that like that black reptilian laugh. The transport came to an untimely end.
He will not be fine with us.
You say
Wait a minute.
I can secure transport if you're scared.
No, we're not scared. Tell them we're just full. Because we're full.
They can smell fear.
You're a liability, Graz. And I just walk away.
Walk away.
I'm gonna follow him.
He just kind of like looks at them leave and turns to you. What's his liability?
Utini?
Um,
Jimothy is very intimidated by this guy.
You guys stacked
Jimothy,
bodies.
get over here!
Pause, real bit. You guys were stacking the stormtrooper bodies, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As he like kind of looks at that, he looks at like as they're leaving, he's like looking at you. Good work.
Who got the most points out of all of us?
Ibana.
As the slaves are kind of like following you. Are you all gonna take the elevator up the dune?
No, I thought we've got to look down here.
have to
We're
find
still
a
looking for the
way.
jeep.
You're going.
JL22.
further.
Yes, we're going farther down the hallway.
Oh. Okay. Do you let Graz know that you are looking for this device, or are you just saying, hey, like we gotta continue?
I don't know
Told
what
him,
what
right?
Victus told him. Victus started walking away, so I assume he's going to get it. So
Yep.
I'm just following him.
But you never told him what it was. You said, we're looking for an item.
Yep, and he doesn't need to know.
Okay.
And he also said didn't care about an item.
Yep.
All right. Well, then. So pretty much the slaves are going to head up the elevator.
Really?
With Graz?
All right. Well, Graz is with you guys.
Right.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
And
It was like leaving the fox with the chickens.
I trust you not to kill these people. As you turn away,
Yeah.
screen fades, screen comes back. What happened to this elevator?
That classic
Send the
riddle.
passengers up. I'll brew some hot cocoa for them.
That riddle where you have one boat and all you have is the fox, the farmer, and the bird seat. You know that one?
fox,
Yeah,
yeah.
you have to
wolf
get
and
them
the
across the river
cabbage.
without them
Yeah.
eating each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fox.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, send up the birds. What is it?
Yeah, the chicken and the
The chickens. Yeah, send up the chickens.
Cabbage and wolf or
Keep the
something.
fox.
Yeah.
Send up the chickens.
So you guys are gonna pretty much send the slaves up with the now free individuals up with their acquired weaponry. Pretty much tell them like, hey man, there's a big ship
Yep.
that has the black sun marking. Trust us, it's safe.
Yeah, it's landed like right out the front door, and the hatch is open, welcomingly, so that they can just come straight out the door and run in
what is
towards
the
the
Grist?
rest.
Okay.
Why are we sending them with the weapons?
What, the captives?
Yeah.
What
I
do you-
mean,
They have to defend
You
themselves.
look at
against Locke? That's not good.
Oh, there are weapons. They're just holding them for us.
Do they know that? Did you tell them that?
We'll make sure they know it.
Okay. They just went up.
Well, they'll when we get up there ourselves, we'll make it clear to them. What are we going to do about it now?
Out of
They're
character,
gone.
these guys are pretty emaciated and not
They're
looking too.
No, they're not
They're
very
not
emaciated.
Oh, they're not.
They
They're
look like they skipped a
malnourished,
meal.
Not emaciated.
Okay.
They look like they skipped a meal, not a month of meals.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't know you guys were sending up these guys with guns and
You just start blasting them.
So,
You
so I'm gonna lean over and
Wow, it's so weird. These troopers are dressed like civilians.
I'm gonna take the comm device from Jimothy if you let it go. Lock.
copy.
So they're coming up. So we found a bunch of people down here, and they're coming up with weapons.
Oh.
Don't shoot them, and try and get them to leave the weapons. They're ours.
Roger that. Weapons
Okay.
ours. Gotcha.
All right. Here you go. I'll hand it back to Jimothy. The contraption, the Frankenstein communicator. All right, so let's go farther down the hallway.
Yeah,
Okay.
as that kind of happens, they start to head up. You guys pass off your device to Jimothy. You guys begin to head down this hallway into unknown dangers, hunting for a device, hunting for whatever Grass seems to seek, as Locke awaits his crew of armed post-traumatic stress survivalists. That is where we will end this week's session.
Oh man, okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Excellent.
Thank you, Dave.
And
Thank you for joining us on another NCRP Productions podcast. We couldn't do this without you, so please like and subscribe everywhere we're found, including YouTube, Facebook, Anchor, Google, Apple, Spotify, and other great podcast sites. If you'd like to help us continue making more content, we'd love to have your support on our Patreon. And if you have any feedback for us, please feel free to comment on our podcasts or email us directly at ncrpproductions@gmail.com. And we'd like to give a special shout out to our current patrons, our Seeks and Employees of the Month, David II, F, S, Michael H, and Michael P. And of course, our Breaker of Seals, Frank H, Christopher C, Matthew K, and The Lab. Trademarked. Thank you all. We truly, truly appreciate it.